So do you remember back in Pokemon Fire Red where they kept hyping up Lance as this awesome dragon trainer and then half of his team ended up being flying type? Why wasn't he just a flying type specialist? There was only one dragon type in the region! What were you thinking, Game Freak? Yeah, this video is gonna correct that. In fact, why stop at Lance? How about I give a new type to every single gym leader and Elite Four member of Kanto, and then replace their old team of Pokemon with a new one according to that type. Wow, it's almost as if it's the title of the video. First up is Brock, who I decided to change from a Rock type specialist to a Ground type specialist. Yeah, no, this one felt pretty obvious. Brock's team is already all Ground type, a product of Game Freak not having any pure Rock types until Gen 2. So no actual changes there, just the Geodude and Onix that he has for his original team. Our actual first team change is with the Cerulean City Gym Leader Misty, who will be going from Water type to Flying type. And the reason for this specific change is that I believe that Misty's true ace should have always been a Gyarados instead of that starfish that they keep giving her in every single Kanto game, goddammit. And what do you know, she already has one in the Sun and Moon anime, and it can Mega Evolve. Good for you, Sun and Moon. But we still need to replace the other goddamn starfish on our team, so let's go with the Togetic, as it was an iconic Pokemon of hers back in the original anime. Now is probably a good time to mention that I'm expanding the options to the Johto Pokedex, even though I'm only doing Kanto trainers. And if you don't like that, then, I don't know, leave. You don't have to watch this thing. But I'm gonna trek forward anyways, or rather, surge forward. Unfortunately, changing Lieutenant Surge's type means getting rid of that glorious electrical pun. But you know what, whatever. The one thing I know about this walking, talking American stereotype is that he fought in the war. Fought. Fought is the past tense of fight, and the present participle tense of fight is fighting. Therefore, Surge should be a fighting type gym leader. I am incredibly intelligent. So he'll be going with Primate, Hitmonlee, and Macho. I'll be honest, there wasn't any thought put into this one. I just picked 3 random fighting types from the Kanto desk. But if you want to see a gym leader with a little bit more thought put into it, I'd like to introduce you to Erica, who is another unfortunate victim of Game Freak's poor team building designs, with 2/3 of her team being Poison type. However, this one's even stranger because there are other grass types that fit Erica better. But, you know, if they insist on giving Erica grass poison types, we might as well just make her a poison type trainer and replace her Tangela with an Ivysaur, completing the grass poison holy trinity, as I like to call it. The actual poison type gym leader, Koga, will be transforming into a bug catcher, as the ace of his daughter, Janine, is a Venomoth. Plus, if we're taking these hypothetical teams into the World Tournament of Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, Koga could get Shed Ninja and Excelgor to suit his ninja theme better, rather than, you know, giving him bombs. But for now, his new team of insects will be Venomoth, as previously stated, Beedrill because it looks kind of menacing, Ariados because it looks even more menacing, and his ace, Scyther, because Scyther is extremely cool. Next up, Sabrina, a friend to everyone who believes in crystal balls, will be swapping her Psychic type for the Dark type, unfortunately losing those same friends. For those who don't know, the Japanese name for the Dark type roughly translates to the Evil type, meaning bad juju, everybody, get out. And Sabrina feels pretty evil, or at the very least evil adjacent. Look, I'm not saying she's like super villain level, at least not until the manga, but like if I had psychic powers, I'd definitely search your mind to get your credit card numbers. Just saying. So, Dark type, Sneasel, Umbreon, Murkrow, and Houndoom. There are not that many Dark types, and I don't really want to give her a pseudo. Now, it's time for Blaine, the Fire type specialist who will not be a Fire type specialist, which unfortunately means that you will not need Burn Heal. In the Pokemon Adventures manga, Blaine is a scientist, specifically the one who created Mewtwo. So, as a man of science, he would probably love to research the revival of fossil Pokemon, which is fitting since you get them restored at Cinnabar Island, where his gym is. So he'll be using the 3 fossil Pokemon, Omastar, Kabutops, and Aerodactyl, making him a Rock-type specialist. As for his last Pokemon, let's go with Sudowoodo. He's a goofy little guy, who fits Blaine's more eccentric activities. And now we've come to our last gym leader, Giovanni, the boss of Team Rocket, the big man with even bigger bucks, and the father of what is straight up a fanfic OC, was really hard to swap types for. I don't even know why Game Freak gave him ground type in the first place. Are they implying that Mafia-dons are responsible for earthquakes? Who knows at this point? It's been 25 years! Give us the answer! However, there is one type that I think works best for him, and that is the normal type. You might be confused by this, but his team will explain everything. His team will be Persian because he has one in the anime, Raticate because every Team Rocket grunt and their mother has a Rattata, Porygon 2 because it was a Pokemon created by Silphco, a company that Team Rocket took over, Ditto because it's a failed clone of Mew, and Team Rocket later successfully created Mewtwo, so it stands to believe that they would create a lot of Dittos as well. And finally, his last Pokemon is Kangaskhan, because I cannot stress this enough, Giovanni is a terrible father. And that is the entirety of the Kanto gym leaders with swap types. But we've still got the Elite Four left, so let's start with Lorelei, who I straight up forgot was an Ice type specialist when creating this video. For the longest time, I just thought she was a Water type specialist. So we're just gonna make her one to cover up my mistakes. Her new team is Dugong, Cloyster, Slowbro, Politoed, and Lapras. This one was pretty simple. You just replace the Jinx with a much better, much cooler Politoed. Next up is Bruno, and despite being a pretty tough fighter, his team mostly focuses on the offensive part of fighting, when rather, he should be focusing on both offense and defense. So, to give him that defense, we'll be switching him from a fighting type to a steel type. We'll be giving him Steelix, Skarmory, Magneton, Fortress, and Scizor. None of these have any real significance except for Steelix, which is the evolved form of that Onix they keep giving him for some reason, even though there are a ton of fighting types in Gen 1? What the heck, man? Next up is Agatha, who again, really should not have been a Ghost type specialist because there was only one fully evolved Ghost type in Generation 1, Gengar, and she already has Arbok and Golbat on her team, so let's just give her two new Poison types, Nidoqueen and Tentacruel. That's it. The final character we're covering today is Lance, who if you don't know what type he's changing to, you have not been paying attention. Or you just skipped to this point in the video, which kind of hurts my feelings a bit, but whatever. All you need to know is that this guy is going from a Dragon type specialist to a Bird type specialist, Flying type specialist. He's already used a bunch of Flying types, so let's just fill his team with Charizard, Gyarados, and Aerodactyl and Dragonite. 4 Flying types who do look vaguely dragon-like, just so that he can still be the master of dragons. As for his final Pokemon, we're going with Pidgeot, because it's in the thumbnail. Okay, cool. That's it. That's the video. If you liked it, like it. That's what the button's for. If you want more, just the other button. That one's there too. Hopefully I get to milk this thing and run dry. I like making videos, man.